Guys, this video I bring you the heat management modules. Guys, today I'm bringing you something that I keep seeing at the dealership that I work at. Just a little background, I've been working at a dealership, BMW dealership, for 10 plus years now. And when I see something that keeps on failing over and over, I want to bring it to you guys on YouTube so you guys can catch it before it really starts to become a major issue on your BMW. So today we're going to be talking about, it's what's called the heat management module. It's part of the cooling system, and I'm going to tell you pretty much what it does, what's actually failing, and what we're seeing in the shop that's kind of early, and how you still may be under coverage even if you're out of new car warranty. This is for the B58 6-cylinder engines and the B48 B46 4-cylinder engines. So let's get right into it. First thing, what is the heat management module? The heat management module is basically an electronically driven thermostat. Instead of like the conventional thermostat where there's like an expansion element that's directly correlated to the cooling system, this doesn't have that. It consists of a DC motor, a shutoff valve built into a housing connected to the engine block. Depending on the load of the engine is going to determine what the heat management module does as far as cooling and warming the engine up. So it basically controls the flow of the coolant. The rotary valve pretty much puts it in the direction that it wants to, and that's controlled by the engine computer, the DME. So it's a lot easier to warm the engine up, and it's a lot easier to cool it down pretty much on demand, depending on the driving situation. The biggest benefits with this is that it's better fuel consumption, better emissions, better power overall, and the quality of the fuel mixture, just because it can get the engine to that perfect temperature. So guys, some of the symptoms that you're gonna see, obviously, is a coolant leak. You're gonna see that on the driver's side. Of course, around the engine bay area, it's gonna be on the driver's side, a little towards the back. Usually when they leak though, coolant gets everywhere, but if you're pressure testing it and you're really specifically looking in that spot, you'll see it dripping down from there. And another thing that they cause is a check engine light. We all love those check engine lights. It will trip a fault if it detects. What we've seen is the coolant shutoff valve going bad, and the actual motor just stops moving inside of the heat management module, so that can cause its own set of issues. So those are the two main things that we have been seeing. It's important to fix ASAP, because with a major coolant leak like that, of course your engine could overheat. It could leave you stranded on the side of the road. Of course you don't want that. So as soon as you see that coolant light on, definitely bring it to a dealership or someone who specializes in BMWs so they can take a look at it right away. So for the coverage of this part, if you fall into the 50,000 mile, 4 years, it's going to be covered under the new car warranty. But if you're out of that, is it covered? Well, there is something that you could check in on at your dealership. You could ask them if the heat management module is covered under the extended emissions warranty. Certain makes and models, certain engines, the coverage goes to sometimes 70,000 miles, sometimes 80,000 miles, but you won't know for sure until the actual dealership checks it for you. So just because you're over 50,000 miles doesn't mean it's not covered at all. And the reason I'm saying this is because it is a decently sized job. Depending on the engine and the model, of course, it could pay anywhere from around 4.5 to 5 hours to around 8.5 to 9 hours. So you're definitely going to want to check in on that, because that could be pricey. So to wrap it up, guys, the heat management module, this is something that I see failing time and time again. It's a little more common than other things that we see at the dealership. That's the whole point. I want to bring it to you guys. If you own these engines in your BMWs, just so you can stay on top of it, be ahead of the game. When you go to the dealership, you can tell them to look out for that, so it doesn't become a bigger issue and eventually leave you stranded if it starts to leak coolant or something like that. Each week I'll be bringing you these videos for the common things I'm seeing at the dealerships. I'll be making a video on it so you guys could be informed and updated with what's going on with these cars. Quick tip, if you are going to be changing the heat management module, another thing that we're starting to see fail, especially if the car's been overheated, this is a plastic piece. It goes underneath the intake manifold. You got to take the intake off to do the heat management module. It's not that much more to buy one of these, and while you're in there, you might as well replace it. This one, which actually all of them we've seen crack somewhere along the shank here. They crack just because they get hot, brittle. This is the connecting neck for that upper coolant hose. I'll put the part in the description below. This is not a bad idea to replace while you're doing it. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. Catch you on the next one.